Hello, welcome to our webinar, which is broadcast every Thursday at 11 a.m. My name is Serhat, and today's topic will be why is the integration of fire detection and announcement systems important? So, this will be our today's topic, and will be included these topics: an introduction, project planning principles, BYKH regulations, announce alarm matrix panels, and conclusions. Considering the criteria such as the building construction area, height, purpose of use, number of users, number of beds, it is necessary to announce the fire alarm warning to the people in the building, in some buildings, through voice alarm and announcement systems. However, in this case, integration between fire detection system and voice alarm and announcement system is required. Here in this webinar, in order to determine the necessary equipment for this, we will examine the relevant articles of the Regulation on Fire Protection of Buildings and the TS-CEN TS5414 standard on the subject. But first, if you need to give a little more information on the subject to begin with, as the buildings become architecturally complex and the number of people living in the building increases, it becomes difficult for people to evacuate in the event of fire. In such buildings, after the fire is detected, warning with sound of a siren for evacuation and directing all the people living in the building to escape increases the traffic and the panic on the escape routes. After the fire detection was made in the buildings in question, there was a need to install emergency announcement systems that make evacuation announcements in the area and nearby areas where the fire occurred, and that can be managed with the information received from the fire alarm system, that make announcements to other areas for international purposes. In this way, it should be aimed to make an evacuation announcement in priority areas and to prevent panic with a second announcement in other regions. Here is the sum of project planning principles of fire detection systems. In paragraph 7 and 8 of Article 81 of the Regulation on the Protection of Buildings from Fire, in the following places, it's obligatory to install announcement system that will be enabled to evacuate or relocation of the inhabitants of the building, with automatically broadcast voice messages and leave voice messages broadcast by microphone from the fire center. In hotels, motels, and dormitories with more than 200 beds in the building. In public buildings, shopping malls, supermarkets, industrial facilities, and similar buildings with a building construction area of more than 5,000 meters square or with a total number of users exceeding 1,000 people. In all buildings whose height exceeds 51.50 meters. Audible and visual warning devices are only used for fire warning system and other emergency warnings. Announcement systems, on the other hand, can also be used for other purposes such as public announcement and background music broadcast, provided that fire warning system and other emergency announcement take priority and automatically disable other usage purpose is called. The method of notifying the people in the building of the alarm should be compatible with the fire alarm reaction strategy. Note 1. Fire alarm response strategies differ markedly across Europe, so it is important that they be clearly documented prior to design. Any alarm that must be detected by untrained persons, such as the general public, should at least be made by audible means. These should be alarm devices or an audible alarm device as appropriate. In areas where audible alarms may be ineffective, for example, where background noise is excessive or where of hearing protection is likely, visual and tactile alarm devices should be used to supplement audible alarms. In areas like to be used only by the hearing impaired, procedures should be in place to inform them of alarm, and or visual or tactile alarm devices should be used to supplement audible alarms. In the following places, it's obligatory to install announcement systems that will be enabled to evacuation or relocation of inhabitants of the building, with automatically broadcast voice messages and live voice messages broadcast by microphone from the fire center. In hotels, motels, and dormitories with more than 200 beds in the building constructions area greater than 5,000 meters square, total number of users exceeding 1,000 people, in public buildings, in shopping malls, in supermarkets, in industrial facilities and similar buildings, and in all buildings whose height exceeds 51.50 meters. This is how announcement system working principle with our addressable fire alarm panels. As it can be understood from the provisions of the regulation and the standards regarding emergency announcement system, in case of fire in the buildings where evacuation is difficult, it is necessary to ensure that people are evacuated or passed to safe sections within the building by broadcasting with voice messages. In order to serve this purpose, the necessary equipment to give an audible alarm should be installed in the announcement system installed in the building. And the announcement and alarm matrix panels should be installed by the fire alarm system to control voice alarm and announcement system. Thanks to these equipment, integration between the fire alarm system and the announcement system should be ensured, and the announcement system should be used as a voice alarm and announcement system that can be used in an emergency. The desired outputs can be activated at the time of event, with these outputs triggering the audible alarm and announcement system. Messages in different combinations pre-registered in the emergency announcement units are announced to different regions, thus informing and guiding the people in the building correctly. In addition, live messages can be converted directly to voice alarm and announcement system via the announcement alarm matrix panel by using the announcement microphones. On smart addressable fire alarm panels should be used by trained persons. In other words, besides cause-effect scenarios, announcements can be made by authorized person over smart addressable fire control panels. Thanks to the announcement control units on the intelligent addressable fire alarm panels, the region or regions to be announced leave can be selected by trained people. As a conclusion, today, smart addressable fire detection systems are used in the most buildings that exceed the criteria specified in the 7th paragraph of Article 81 of Regulation on Fire Protection of Buildings. In terms of the number of users, their features, and the building construction area and height criteria, where people are densely populated, evacuation is difficult. Management and control of voice alarm and announcement system is critical for life and property safety. Providing this control by using appropriate solutions and products according to the criteria determined by the regulation and standards will provide an accurate and effective protection and operation. Thank you for joining our webinar. Hope to see you in next week, and if you have a question, you can feel free to ask me from the chat box.